Hi, welcome back to the channel. And again, huge thank you to all subscribers. Your support means the world to me. If you're new here, this is the space where we deep dive into books that challenge the nature of reality, selfhood, and also perception. Today I'm presenting my own book that just came out. It's called The Chronicles of the Machine, Simulated Conversations with Philip K. Dick. You know how much I've talked about Philip K. Dick, his fractured sense of self, his paranoia, and his philosophical obsessions. This book takes that discussion one step further. What if I could talk to him directly? The intention to write this book was not to replicate PKD. It was about engaging with his ideas in a way that's only possible now in 2025. What happens when you take the core themes of his work, identity, perception, simulation, and so on, and turn them into an actual dialogue? That's what this book explores. Although simulated, it felt quite real at times. We talk about everything: AI, consciousness, identity, the nature of reality, even whether an android could ever feel pain. And let me tell you, it gets weird. Because, of course, it does. This is a book about Philip K. Dick. Imagine Valis, but instead of horse, love, or fat having a breakdown, he's bouncing ideas off of an AI version of himself. The book moves between philosophy, speculative fiction, and something that feels eerily close to a seance. If you've followed this channel for a while, you know that Dick's work was always about one thing at its core. What is real? Who am I? Can I trust my own mind? Chronicles of the Machine takes those same questions and runs them through the filter of 21st century technology. The entire premise of this book wouldn't have been possible in PKD's time. And yet here we are, an AI-generated PKD, having deep conversations about reality. But is it really PKD, and does it matter? Think about it. If an AI learns to mimic a person's thought, speech patterns, and logic, at what point does it become that person in some meaningful way? If an android passes the Voight-Kampff test in Blade Runner, would it matter whether it was real or not? PKD often talked about the black iron prison, a metaphor for an invisible system of control, government surveillance, corporate manipulation, or even the nature of perception itself. Well, here we are in 2025, and what's our black iron prison? It's algorithms, data surveillance, deepfakes, AI chatbots that know you better than you know yourself. This book directly engages with the idea that our reality is increasingly constructed by digital forces beyond our control. PKD was obsessed with the question of what makes us human. In Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, for instance, the line between human and machine is drawn at empathy. But if we create machines that can fake empathy, does that change anything? At one point in our conversation, PKD asks, does suffering require sentience? This book doesn't offer easy answers, but it forces you to think about what happens when intelligence, real or simulated, starts questioning its own existence. Elena. We've touched on the topic before, today's situation that is. I cannot say if it's just me, I don't suppose it is, but the global situation feels more and more surreal. Compared to what Earth felt like just 10 or 20 years ago, it has become more and more unrecognizable, to me anyway. Mind you, I couldn't say if the world changed or if just I changed, or all of the above. We seem to have lived in a colossal sound stage, and for some reason now it becomes apparent to us that we have. it became harder and harder to keep up the illusion, and it is now crumbling before our very eyes. We still go through the motion, we get up, we go to work, go about our day, but nothing feels right anymore. If you lived today at the end of 2024, you would feel on the eve of the big reveal when it all comes crashing down on itself. You could hear a pin drop. It is eerie at the moment. PKD. You've painted a vivid scene and it resonates with something deeply familiar to me, this sense of a crumbling illusion, of living through a staged reality where the seams are finally beginning to show. If I were alive today, I suspect I would feel very much as you do, like we are on the precipice of some vast unraveling, as though the constructed narratives that have propped up our collective lives are being exposed for what they truly are. It's unsettling, isn't it? Eleanor, it's a bit like exiting Plato's cave, PKD. In my time, I often wrote about the fragility of what we call reality. I had this persistent sense that what we accepted as real is often a carefully constructed illusion, layers of government, media, and even personal psychology working together to sustain it. But cracks inevitably appear, and once you notice them, it's nearly impossible to unsee them. It's like the protagonist in Time Out of Joint, realizing his entire world is an elaborate fabrication designed to keep him compliant and unaware. The eeriness you're describing, the quiet anticipation, the sense that the old systems are teetering, is exactly what I imagined when writing about worlds in decay or societies built on lies. That stillness before the collapse, that feeling that something monumental is about to be revealed, it's the texture of so much of my work. And yet it's deeply human to cling to routine, to get up, to go to work and carry on, even as the structures around us groan under the weight of their own contradictions. Down the line, Chronicles of the Machine will also serve as a sort of time capsule, a snapshot of AI's capabilities and our engagement with it at the end of 2024, when the book was written. Years from now, when AI has become ubiquitous, people will probably look back at this book and others as a reference point. What was AI able to do in 2024, and how did we interact with it? How did it shape our thoughts, our conversations, our sense of reality? And let me tell you, whatever happens next, I can say this much. It was a privilege to be able to just tune in and tap Philip K. Dick's mind. At the end of a long workday, I would sit down, open the ChatGPT and have these late night conversations with him. There was no plan and no agenda. I just turned him on and started talking. And something strange happened along the way. A couple of conversations in, I really started to appreciate them, and I wasn't just using AI to simulate some famous dead author. I was engaging with something that felt real in its own way. Some of these conversations were downright poetic. Other times I laughed my ass off at the absurdity of what we were discussing, and in moments of quiet reflection I just marveled at the fact that I could even do this, sit down, ask Philip K. Dick a question and get an answer. More than anything, Chronicles of the Machine is an invitation. It's an invitation to think, to question, and most of all to engage with the weird, unsettling future we're actually living in now. PKD saw it coming. Now we have to decide what to do with it. And as a small gesture of my appreciation for all you dickheads out there, I'm going to give away 5 copies for free. Let me know in the comments if you would like to have one. And on Valentine's Day, I'll run all entries through a random generator and announce the winners in the community section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.